Good morning, everyone. This is Jamaica with Jamaica Life. So I had somebody ask me a question last night on a live in reference to whether we could feed our animals leftovers and certain types of food. Now, you'd be surprised what you could feed to your birds. Now, there are certain things that you should not feed your animals, and a couple of them are like chocolate, coffee, tea, potatoes, cooked or uncooked. What else? Spoiled food, rotten food, rhubarb. But there is nothing wrong. Oh, uncooked beans. We shouldn't eat uncooked beans, right? But there is nothing wrong with giving your chickens or your animals leftovers if they'll eat it, if it's good for them. Now, don't give them a bunch of allium, which is the onions, leeks, and all that stuff. But I do put garlic in their water to help deworm them. It's the excess. Now, chocolate, chocolate is not good for a lot of animals. I don't know why we can digest it, but you certainly can give your animals, get out of here, girl, leftovers. And that's what I do. That's what I do to supplement my feed. And my chickens are still alive. So there's another thing. So let's feed the chickens, and then we'll go on to deworming the goats, because I watch a lot of YouTubers, and some of the old ways we have forgotten. We've gotten so fancy dancy, and there was not always feed. Feed didn't always exist. This dog's gonna make me get her. Feed didn't always exist. People in the past had to feed their animals with the leftovers that they had, as well as some of the household products that they have. So let's go ahead and feed the chickens the pot of leftovers that I have, and then we'll go on to the goats and the sheep, and let's talk about deworming, because I told you I put garlic, which they say there's a rooster on the roof. A rooster on the roof. Which they say you're not supposed to do. Well, it helps deworm them. It helps cut down on the parasite load, not only for them, but for us. That's what it does. So let's give these chickens this stuff so they can be quiet. And then we'll go on to deworming, or types of deworming. Now, I cannot attest, or actually I can, because I have fed this to my goats and my sheep, and they're still alive. So let's go ahead and feed the chickens the leftovers so they can be quiet. It's actually the ones outside making a bunch of noise. And then we'll talk about the deworming thing that I found out about. This is fantastic for me because I don't have to catch them. Move out the way, ladies. They don't want their feed. They do not want their feed. They're going to eat it. You are going to eat it. You hear me? Rooster. Rooster. How many roosters I got in here? Oh, that's a good one right there. Okay. Don't get sidetracked, girl. Do they seem unhappy? No. It's a happy bunch right there. See that? Their feed is not there, but they're definitely eating that rice, and the macaroni is all gone. I don't as I said, I gave you a couple of things. Look up the rest, because I may have missed some. But if you stay away from potatoes, rotten food, onions, or allium family, chocolate, tea, coffee, you should be all right. Rhubarb, don't give them rhubarb either. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that they just can't eat. Or they can't eat it in excess. But rice, macaroni, bread, I give them all kind of stuff. Don't hate, congratulate. I hate wasting my food. I really do. And if I could give it to them instead of throwing it in the trash, well, that's what I'm going to do. Chickens are scavengers. Where's my thing? No, she didn't. I was going to say, did that dog take the lie? Because that's what we're going to talk about next. So, y'all know I got chickens, goats. I got a bunch of animals, right? I am dipping my toe in the homesteading life. So I was concerned because that one right there, that black and white one, Billy, the one that's coming to me right now, he had diarrhea. Bad. It was bad. So I was going to have to catch all of them, check them, and deworm them until I watched a guy named Poopaw. Poopaw's farm or Poopaw's homestead is Poopaw. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, I'm going to go ahead and spend all of this money on vaccinations and doing all of this stuff. So I watched Poopaw, and guess what? There is an old-timey remedy for deworming. You ain't got to catch them. This. Lye. But it's food grade lye. So if you read the back, it talks about you feeding it to it says sweetening hog swill. It tells you how to do it. All I use is a half a teaspoon for, not even half a teaspoon, less than a half a teaspoon for a gallon. Do your own calculations. Go ahead, read the thing. But this is food grade lye, and guess what it does? It deworms these jokers. There was one lady, it's so strange. People will tell you that you're doing something wrong, but they have never tried it. And just because they have never heard of it, such as feeding your chickens your leftovers. I mean, there's some things, look it up. There's a lot of things that they can eat that we eat. Meat to include meat and a lot of vegetables from our garden. But yeah, you have to, sometimes you need to listen to people before you test them, because somebody went up against this joker. And then there were a lot of homesteaders who tried it. And guess what? One lady actually had her goats and her sheep tested. I think she had goats or her sheep tested before and after. And by week number, I think 3, the third time she did it, they couldn't even find a parasite load in her animals. And their animals are still alive. There was one lady, from what I've seen, who went on Facebook and went against that poor man. Some of us are on YouTube strictly to make money, and some of us are here to try to help people. Not everybody is just worried about the cash money. Money is good, but helping people is even better. You got to listen to people, and you got to, if you get the feeling that they're just telling it and they're trying to sell you something, well, that's like eating candy. You might get some value in it. You get some calories from it, but it's not good for you. There are some people who are down to earth, and then there's other people who are not. Yes, this is a business. Yes, okay, it's a business. But if somebody is generally telling you something and they don't look like they have anything to gain from it, and it's an old-timey remedy that has been tried and true that you have never heard of, because I never heard of feeding any animals lye. And a lot of people have not heard of people feeding their animals leftovers, which is ridiculous. How do you think they survived before feed came along? How do you think people have been keeping their their livestock alive for years and years and years? They may not say they're doing it, but they are doing it. Now, as I said, there are a lot of things that you shouldn't do. But it's been about 3 weeks since I gave them jokers this. I put just less than a half a teaspoon, and I watch Poopaw. Watch Poopaw, because that's where I got it from. Poopaw. He's a farmer. They came for him. Some people came for him, and then they came for. You give and you get. You get back what you give. So I tried it. I said, okay, I'm gonna try it, because I don't want to have to go ahead and chase these jokers down. I gotta feed them. They're still making noise. I don't want to have to chase these jokers down and give them vaccinations and possibly hurt myself. People. Actually, I was gonna buy some pigs until this happened. The person I was gonna buy them from on Craigslist had a whole bunch of hogs, right? So they said, I can't help you. You know why they couldn't help me? they had a broken hip. Damn hogs. Some of them animals will hurt you, like a ram. I got one ram and I got two rams in there. One is actually three. I got two Nigerian dwarf, bucks, and then I have a ram that's a sheep. I might have to cull him because I don't trust rams. I've been rammed before when I was a kid trying to feed this sheep named Ned, and he took me from one side of the pen to the other. Oh, I got experience in farming, not a lot, but enough. Pigs will do the same thing to you. They will. That's why I didn't want big animals. So once I heard that the person's hip was broken, well, I knew what happened. The hogs got him. I ain't getting none of them jokers. Not me. They never eat me in that pen, because if you fall out in a hog's pen, even if they're like a nice domesticated one and they get hungry enough, well, you gonna get ate. You're gonna get ate. They eat meat. All of them do. Anyway, not to be grotesque. So my point is, don't judge until you do your research and you've tried it. Okay? This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. Keep on homesteading. Keep on trying. Do your research before you do anything, because this one right here, oh, I was watching and looking up this thing, and once I ordered it and saw that on it, well, then I knew he was telling the truth. I knew he was telling the truth, and I was willing to risk my animals. I sure was. I was willing to try it. You don't have to be, but I was. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank everybody for being with me. Keep on trying. Don't let nobody kill your dreams by telling what you can and can't do, especially if they haven't tried it themselves. Negative Nancy or negative Neds. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank Poopaw, and I thank everyone who has been helping the community out with the old ways as well as the new ways of doing things. I thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.